So, why Facebook groups for lead generation? Getting into Facebook groups can seem a little overwhelming when you're wanting to use them for growing your audience. So, why do we need to grow our audience? Why? If you want to have people to talk to, if you want to be able to have a business in general, whether it's in person, brick and mortar, online, you got to have people to present it to. And so you need to be consistently growing your audience. And one of the best ways, and audience can also refer to as leads, or like I said, people that you can present to. And so in order to do this, you need to have consistent growth. A lot of times we think we have a few hundred, a few thousand people, and we think, oh, well, we can stop for a while. But I don't believe that's smart. I think we need to be consistently growing our audience. And that can look differently for your business of how big your audience needs to be. But today I want to talk about where to grow your audience. And one of the best ways, if you're wanting to do it for free and and it's just a time commitment, is Facebook groups. Now, I know what people say. I've said it myself is, it can be overwhelming. You thinking about the time commitment. Is it going to even give you, is that return on investment? Because time is an investment. Is the return on your investment going to be worth it? What if you get in there and people don't like you? Like, it's like that can be a little bit of a fear coming up. What if you just don't find that right group? And I've heard that more than anything. It's like, I have a trouble finding the right group. What I think the problem is in a lot of cases is we try to find too many. We're looking for a bunch of groups because we think, well, the more groups we have, the more people we can be exposed to, right? We can connect with, we can collaborate with. And so I actually have a training on this. It dives deep into how to go into a Facebook group, what to look for, what you got to know before you even get into the group, and then what you do exactly step by step once you're in there. So it takes away that overwhelm. But today I want to talk about, why is it a valid option? And one of the biggest is because it is free and it can be fun. I'm about simple and fun. If it's not simple, if it's not fun, it's probably, I will say there's some things we got to do in our business that are not as fun, but as long as you're having fun, I think that's important. And so, uh, why Facebook groups? Why Facebook groups? Well, you can make really good connections. So once you put yourself in a position of just going on social media and you're maybe following an influencer and you're connecting with people that are with that influencer, or you're just commenting on people's posts, and that's your daily, maybe your strategy. Maybe that's what you're doing every day. And then I want you to put yourself mentally put yourself in a place where you are with a group of people and you're there consistently. You get to know them. You get to connect with them. In my social media marketing made simple and fun group, we meet every week, and we're just connecting. It's a coffee chat. We're sharing the things in our business that work and don't work. And I have made such genuine and lasting friendships, and the people that are coming into my group and in participating in that coffee chat get that same. They just have made friends and connections and collaborations that would never been made if we hadn't come together. And so finding the right group, right? Finding those right groups. And again, I have a training on that, but just to give you an idea, you got to kind of know what you're looking for in the sense of what your business is. What problems are you trying to solve? Uh, what is it that your business can do for people? Now, you're not going to go into these groups, you know, posting about your business. You're not going to go into these groups, throwing out links. It's just not going to be effective. But what you're going to do is go in and have fun. That's one option, right? Just go in. So it doesn't have to be a group that you're looking for that is centered around your business. It could be just a hobby group. It could be a group that things that you enjoy. And I find those are really effective because you have a common interest. And so you have let's say you find a group of 1,000 people or larger, and they are engaged and having fun. And then you connect over things. Think about going to anywhere where you get around people and you've connected with something, right? You both love the same movie. Like, oh my God, I love that movie. And that leads to the next conversation. And so Facebook groups can be really fun, but I get hey, good morning, Sharon. A lot of times people, good morning, Mona. A lot of times we tend to look at Facebook groups as oh my God, there's so many out there, right? There's so many out there and it can be overwhelming. And so what I recommend is look for 1 or to 3, no more. And if you think about it, if you got rid of all the other Facebook groups that you're not going to connect with, now, of course, if you have, ones that you've paid to be in, right? You're in a coaching program or something, that's obviously you're going to stay in those. But the ones that uh, you've already checked out, you're like, okay, this is not going to be work for me as a audience building Facebook group, then turn off the notifications and just focus or remove yourself and focus on 1 to 3. So that would clear up your brain, first of all. It does mine. Just know that I'm just going to these groups. That's it. Now, once you try those groups, you don't have to stay there. You can say, okay, these aren't working out for me. Or if you love them, then stay there for a while. But if the group isn't growing and you're thinking, well, I've kind of tapped this group out, you can always start the process again. But as long as you know the process and exactly what to do, and that is why I created this training. And uh, like I said, that's too long to give here on a Tuesday for the tips, but it is a very in-depth and very good. Like I said, that was one of the problems I had is what do you do when you get in there? What is the exact steps? And so knowing that really helps. A lot of groups will offer you to introduce yourself. Say, okay, you can introduce yourself. They don't want a lot of posting, maybe. So what you do is with the person that's the administrator, when they create a post and you see all the comments, you see these people. Now you got to be careful. There's group rules. And one of the things I do stress strongly is obey the group rules. Um, so if it's a group that you're like, there's not a lot of freedom here, find another group. You may use that group for value. Maybe there's a lot of value in there that the person, the administrator is offering, and you want that value. But as far as connecting and with an audience, you want to find there's a couple criteria. And one is you want to make sure that the group is active. It's good to find ones that you're allowed to post in so that if other people are posting that you can comment on. Um, you want to look for, you also want to look for a group that does have rules, that has, I would say, kind of stringent rules on the atmosphere in there. Because you don't want a group full of haters, you know? You don't want to surround yourself with people that are really going to bring you down. Uh, anyway, there's a lot of benefit to growing into the Facebook groups. And I would say in order to avoid the overwhelm of, oh my gosh, it takes so much time, is allow yourself a certain amount of time. If you had 5 minutes a day, think about that as you don't have to get in there. And a lot of times we think if we create a post that if people comment, we have to be sitting on that post commenting back. Oh yeah, that'd be great. But you don't have to be. I mean, there was a post I created one time in a group and I had 1,000 people respond. Do you think I responded to every one of them right away? No. And in fact, I actually it was kind of fun because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have all these people to process through. And so then I looked through, I was able to take my time, and it may have taken, I don't know, it seemed like it was a couple months. And I was able to go back to that and say, oh my gosh, I saw a comment on a post you did. It was probably a couple months ago, but I'm just now getting around to letting you know how much I appreciated it, or I think it was a more of a interest group. And so it was more of a connection of I am that way too. I'm glad I'm not the only one type of conversation. And believe it or not, people are not offended by that. They don't think, well, why did it take you so long? They just go, oh, cool. That she took the time to message me. I mean, that's how I feel. It's like, oh my God, that was months ago. Oh my gosh, she's still responding to me. How nice, right? Uh, so there's really not there's not a lot of there's not a lot of what's the word I'm trying to find out say about Facebook groups. There's not a lot of difficulty. You know, if you're trying to run ads to grow your audience, if you're trying to um, sitting in on your timeline and there's so much spending 2 hours a day trying to connect with people, it's just can be exhausting. I know people that do that, and I kudos to them. I am so that is not, I have a life. And so I want to spend my time very strategically. And so engaging is one of the highest priorities. I will engage with people and connect with people even before I put that as more of a priority than posting. Now, posting content is how you get seen. So you've got to do that. I'm not saying you shouldn't. But if I have time for one, I'm going to engage with people. I'm going to love on them. I'm going to go into a group. I'm going to comment. I'm going to just support. Maybe I'm just supporting the admin, you know, cheering them on, validating them. There's a lot of ways to do. There's a lot of strategies. But I would say first thing I would suggest going into groups, first thing is knowing why you want to go in there. Why is this group? Who are you looking for? What is the audience you're looking for? Who is that person that you want to help? Now, you're not going to go in there. Like I said, there's a strategy for this, and I've got it for you. Let me know. Drop a group in the comments if you want to have access to that. But and it's free. So I have for a short time for this month. It's free, so I can get you access to that. But it will take you step by step exactly what to do. Takes over the overwhelm out of it, and it's very simple. But they are a very valid way to connect and find your audience. So I love y'all. I'm going to end with that, and I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous rest of your week.